ain't got it. Broke, five broke. We ain't got it. We broke.
Yo, check it out. Broke Twimbos is back once again. Fresh new episode deep in the middle of HIFA. The good thing about HIFA is it brings a whole bunch of artists into the country, and that gives us an opportunity to kidnap them and bring them into our studio. My name is Danny That Guy, a.k.a. Denias, a.k.a. The Only Guy, a.k.a. Your Girlfriend Probably Pities Me, a.k.a. Dan More. When you look at my body weight, it's more like Dan Less.
And he's here with the one and only, the irrefutable, the unmistakable, the honorable, soon-to-be doctorable, Phil Chard, a.k.a. Flint Floss, the big boss, baby, a.k.a. Fidza P, a.k.a. Sexington Lovu, a.k.a. Filthy Phil, a.k.a. Shamari, Ditengero Dringi. And we're here with one of Ghana's finest, bruh. You know, lyricist, a true artiste. I think Artist of the Year 2013 Ghana Music Awards, Best Hip Hop, riding high off his new release Ape, M.anifest, M.da. Chale, welcome to Zimbabwe.
Thank you. I mean, I can't compete with your AKAs, man. AKA M.da, AKA M Diggity, AKA.
Now, you check out, the thing is, when you're broke, you get a lot of names. You know how it is in the hood, right? It's like, it's like Homeless Dave kind of thing, you know what's going on? You get a lot of them AKAs.
So a false sense of modesty, inflated egos, just to make up for the brokenness.
Boom.
Wow. There you go. There you go, man.
Yo, man, welcome to Zimbabwe.
Thank you.
First time here?
Very first time, and I've been wanting to come to Zimbabwe since Bob Marley made that song.
Were you born then? How old are you?
Oh, since I heard the song, I mean.
Alright, so here's the thing, just so you know what Broke Twimbos is. Pretty much, Phil and I have no money, but we have access to the studio until they figure it out and they kick us out. But until then, we've got access to a studio, and we've got access to a couple of artists. The fact that we were able to persuade you to come here, you know what I mean? It's a source of personal pride, honestly, to be honest. You know, it's like, yo, we got M. in the studio.
Basically, fake it till you make it strategy.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
If I get a studio, I can get anybody I want in it.
That's pretty much the hustle. Like, we've got a studio, we show them photos, they're like, okay, these guys must be professional. Then by the time they realize it's too late,
we got the interview, fam. Alright, yeah. So the whole idea, obviously, is just to have long form interviews. We wanna sit down and properly get down into the deep down actual M.anifest. You know what I mean? Right from the beginning till now, and not just because I mean you've probably done a whole bunch of radio interviews and TV interviews, and they've always been kind of like, yo, what you doing now? What's next? How dope? Nice, see ya, kind of thing. But now we want to actually get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like any actual M.anifest fans will be like, it's to them, it's like, it's, I don't know, it's heaven. It's sitting there like, oh my God, M.anifest. Did you know M.anifest in third grade was, you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
I had a question as teacher. Oh, yeah.
Really though?
No. I don't even. She was my third grade teacher. I don't even remember her name. No. Yeah.
But you know it was a her.
I think so. Yeah, it was a her. It was always hers till I got to about grade. Like, we didn't say grade. Till I got to class 5. I had all her teachers. I remember from kindergarten to class 5, there were no he teachers. And then class 5, there was a he teacher. And that guy, man, he was an actor too. Man, the way you could lash the students. No, actually, it's a funny story. Short one, but I was the class prefect. You know, cool like that. And he came into the class one day, and everybody was making noise. He said, class prefect, where are the list of talkatives? So I didn't have a list, so he lashed me on behalf of everybody. Man, yeah. So you see, that's why I had she teachers for so long, and they were so nice, you know. The he teachers, man.
Yeah, man. Anyway, okay. School-wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, when did you start doing music?
Such a difficult question at times. We started seriously in 2005 after I finished college, or university as they call it on the side. But I was always dabbling. I think I was in my first rap group when I was 14. It was called Rebel Camp.
Rebel camp.
We're in boarding school and we're bored.
Clearly, you were showing that thug life attitude of a class prefect, man.
I
Thug
mean,
life.
look, I had tattoos and I had to go and wipe them off later because the teachers couldn't handle it. I was thug life in a rebel camp. We even had AKs.
Did they shoot water?
Guy, we were rapping like Das Effects. At least I was. So there was nothing. Well, yeah, I used to rap like Das Effects. That's what people don't know actually.
Yeah.
The first couple of rhymes were like Das Effects. You remember Das Effects, right?
Das Effects.
Diggity Das Effects.
Yeah.
So that's why now I'm M Diggity.
Do you have any of those old rhymes that you could just drop for the listeners?
Chickity check this, I select this till I exit. I don't pop crisp, but I eat mad grits. Making super hits in a Lexus, making moves in Texas. Yo, we the best in this. See my theatrics, mathematical tactics that I possess. I was 14 when I wrote that. Sorry, I'm cussing, man. I need to keep it clean, man. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I mean, for the kids. All right, dope. So, Rebel Camp. Did you put out music like professionally?
No, not at all. It was something we would do during entertainment. A couple of Saturdays at school, impress some chicks. Then it was sports or entertainment to impress chicks. So we tried to, but then they got bored of us at some point, and it was heartbreaking, man. After 2 years, they just like we seen these guys, and it was terrible. I was like, what's up with this? So that's when I think I probably was like, man, forget this, man. Forget them. I have no time for this. but then probably when I was 17 was when we started doing studio stuff. Not with Rebel Camp. At that time, I fancied myself that I was like some P. Diddy kind of guy. I fancied myself a producer.
Take that.
So at that time, I think we were about 17. My friend and a friend of mine who you might know called Blitz. Yeah.
The ambassador, yeah.
Bazaar, as I know him. When I was 17, I was his PDD. Little do people know. so actually, funny story. I got my manager at the time. My manager was in the US at the time. Well, he wasn't my manager. He was just my brethren, my brother. And I hit him. I'm like, "Chad, I beg Western Union some money. We need studio time." So Western Union, $50. I'll never forget this, man. I don't know how quickly you did it, but yeah, Western Union, $50. And we used to pay for some studio time because Bazaar or Blitz had these songs, ideas that he had, and I didn't take the thing seriously. Not him, but my stuff. So I was his PDD. Studio time ran out. The engineer was like, he couldn't do any more. Man, it was crazy. But yeah, those were the first studio experiences. It wasn't me rapping. It was me, doing my best, Jermaine Dupri or one of these producer. Yeah.
I find it hilarious that the names you're mentioning of like the first kind of influences or the people that you're trying to be like, P. Diddy and Jermaine Dupri.
No, not trying to be like them. Just sort of fancy yourself as the person who's sort of, but fancy yourself like, yo.
Because your rap style is way different to that.
No, not trying to rap, guy. I would not be trying to rap like Diddy. I'm saying, at that time, Diddy was positioned to us because, we all listen to Biggie and stuff.
Yeah.
Diddy was positioned by Biggie to us as the guy who makes it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, until we realized that, oh, no, shout out to Diddy. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about in terms of, I don't think I always had a love for the rapping, but I don't think until 2005 I had the zeal, the resolve, or the passion to say, you know what, I'm really good at this and I should be doing it.
So 2005, yeah, you said that's when you actually took it seriously?
Yeah, no, 2005, I was finished with, my uni or college, and it was basically a fork in the road. What are you going to do? It's those moments in life you realize that, it's real now. I'm not in school anymore, My excuses have run thin. I'm either going to be doing something I absolutely hate and make loads of money. I should have done that. Or do something I'm passionate about and try and actually succeed at it. So I spent a lot of time with myself that time. And I was in Minnesota, so it was cold, so it was easy to spend a lot of time with yourself. And so, and I had been writing a lot. You know, actually, when I was in university, I'd been writing a lot. So I used to have these pages and pages of just random rhymes. But then I started writing songs around that time. And I remember the first song I wrote at that time in 2005 was called Silence is Golden. What was it? When I'm gray and old, tell the greatest story that was never told. Relax as the story unfolds. Journey that's a dusty foot from the dirt roads, from the African sun to the Minnesota bitter cold. Yeah, it was cold. And then, like, silence is golden. Speech is really priceless. My heart and soul living in mic devices, approaching the light. Some call it a crisis, a verbalize. Tyson couldn't bite this or something like that. Yeah, that was my first song I wrote around the time. And then, yeah, just started trying to embark on it. And before I realized the floodgates open, I could never have imagined being able to record more than 5 songs a year. And then the next year in 2006, I probably recorded 250 plus songs.
250.
250
At
songs.
least.
Where are those songs now, man?
Oh, man. Some made it into the first album. A lot of them just helped me discover my voice and sort of sharpen my skill. And
But you
somehow
got-
on some
you got
hard
that.
drive somewhere.
Yeah.
I know there are 2 hard drives that broke and I gave to people to fix, and I never saw those guys. If one day they decide to, you know, bring them out, I don't know how I'd feel. But it was an interesting time.
So,
And I was recording myself. You know, the first 3 albums of mine, I recorded and mixed myself.
What are you using?
Pro Tools.
Oh, dope.
So I bought the DGO one. Old school thing. You know, that's what people don't realize. Sort of at the time, I had to learn everything about it. I didn't have an experience of, I'd been going into studios, so I'd seen what was happening. I basically knew about music, etc. I hang out with a lot of producers. We used to go crate digging, other things that were musical. But I had no idea sort of the processes. So everything was learned from scratch, to the point where, to be cost effective and because of people disappointing me time-wise, I had to learn to record myself. And then that was the formation of my infamous Anywhere I'm At Studios.
tell me, first of all, what did you study?
I studied economics.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so don't mess with my money.
Let me get this straight. You were a class prefect. You studied economics. And now you're a hardcore rapper.
Guy, you forgot class prefect used to be thug rapper. You know, see, that was one of the things. One of my friends says it's quite unfair. I think I used to be good at many things. There are many things I'm not good at, but I used to be good at many things. I used to be cold in sports too, man. I used to be good at that. I used to play like in a professional like coach soccer team when I was like 10. My mom did not know, and she stopped me when she found out because she thought I was going to become a rascal. And then I turned to playing basketball, and I became good at it. Like I was killing it when I was in like junior and high school. I was like the guy. That was how I used to get my chicks.
That's dope. So now we're in 2006. So 2007, Manifestations drops.
Yeah.
What led up to the release of that album?
Well, there was a lot in terms of recording. I was in a foreign land. I was trying to figure out. I started doing shows, underground shows, opening for people, etc. But I had to resolve that. Look, I'm going to put out an album. Like, the funny thing is, the original album I was going to put out was Coming to America. That was the first album I was supposed to put out. I always loved
Immigrant Chronicles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the first album. Not the content, but the concept was what I
Okay.
had in mind first. But Manifestations kind of came there somewhere in the middle, because I was like, okay, I'm Manifest. I need to give them some manifestations before I go anywhere else. So, yeah, so then I just linked up with so many different producers. I had a huge body of work. I think the turning point for that album was when I went back home for a couple of months because my visa was going to expire. And I had to get a new visa. But so, and then I'd put together what I thought was the album. So when I came back, I had to sit down with the 4 main producers. 4 Shades was the sort of the production group I work with. And I played them what I thought was the album. They were like, And I was like, what? And then the next 3 weeks, I just beasted it out, recorded it. So only 2 songs from the previous, what was going to be Manifestations, made it. And so yeah, it was kind of a revision process. And then I made that album and put it out.
Dope. But I remember at the Impact Music Conference, you were talking about how social media actually led up to you linking up with
MySpace, man. I miss MySpace.
with all the glitter on the pages.
Oh, man, guy.
Dude, you used to spend hours coding those animations.
Yeah, look, man, I used to go and Google how HTML code, because I'll go to somebody's page, I'm like, this thing is nicely arranged. How do I do it? And I'm trying to, man, MySpace, man. And then the banner, guy. Shout out to MySpace, man. There's nothing been like that anymore. That's come like that anymore. That's sort of where people, because it wasn't just for musicians, it was for everybody. But so that was the advantage. Everybody was there, but it was so designed well for a musician. You could have that easy play. Guy, those things, they were useful. It helped me to reach people at fairs. It was free. And that was also through how I actually got connected to a company that did a Pepsi jingle. That's how I actually made money to press physical copies and pay producers the little I could pay them for that first album. So yeah, it was relevant. It was definitely relevant. I think that aspect of it I can never undermine because, like I said, I was a bit insulated. I stayed indoors quite a bit.
Because of the bitter cold.
One of the reasons. Another was because I realized, look, I had a full-time job then too. Yeah, I worked with non-profits. I had a full-time gig. So basically every time I had to myself was for music. I socialized, but it was just all around music as well. So it was a lot of that. So if I didn't have that sort of, that MySpace and those kind of things, I think it would have made it much more difficult to satisfy the other requirements that I know that you need to do, which is sort of reach people, to be able to catch the attention of people who book you for shows and other things. They were all happening around the online space, and then it will translate into real life. I think some of the journalists then that even hit me up to interview me hit me up on MySpace. It's just weird, man. I mean, now it seems weird because now it's like, yo, you probably should email if you're trying to get to me. I mean, yeah.
All right, dope. So, Manifestations drops. What's the reception like?
Reception was very, very good. I think it's my most hip-hop album because I was in the hip-hop America. I was in the underground indie scene in Minneapolis. So it had a kind of quintessential, hip-hop feel. So it had a good reception. I got Songwriter of the Year that day in this City Pages. It was a big deal because they usually give it to those guitar playing, folksy white people. And I was like this hip hop guy, and they quoted some lines. I think they quoted some lines from the song. And I was like, actually, I'm a songwriter. They're like, cold days, silent. Well, what was it? Cold days, silent nights. Some days I don't write. I sit back, let my mind take flight, get my mind stay right. Imagine what a good life looks like. A house by the lake for my old lady, maybe. I mean, yeah, anyway. I was like, hey, listen. That happened. I was in top 5 albums in the Star Tribune. Critical acclaim came. And they put me on the list of 10 people next to Blow type of thing. Which was weird. I mean, all of it was dope and everything. But I still knew that an important aspect of it hadn't been reached, which is that critical acclaim wasn't matching sort of audience notoriety. And that's a weird thing for an artist. It's like, yo, people have heard of you, but they are not really, yet an audience of yours or a fan of yours. So it was good for that, though. It definitely gave me the confidence because artists don't want to admit it, but as much as we rap back, I mean, you have to be a bit arrogant to be a rapper. It's true. You have to have it, not in terms of be arrogant around people, but to have that confidence in your work to say, nah, man, this is it, man.
I think that's what's holding me back.
Yeah, Dan, that's the only thing stopping you from being a successful rapper. Not talent. Not talent or skills, just confidence.
No, but I mean, it's funny that you'd mentioned that you're going to get all this critical acclaim and the music critics are all like, this is dope. And you're like on the back page of every newspaper and whatever. but like the masses are kind of like, yeah, I think I saw that name in the newspaper, but I don't really know what he does.
Yeah, because you don't connect as easy when you're not with a base that's not my base. That's not where I was from. That's not. I don't have friends. I had friends in uni, whatever, but they all left because we also was. But I don't have friends who are going to be like, yo, check out my guy in the paper. You know, it doesn't grow that organically because you don't have. You're basically what do you call it? You're an outlier there. That's an exotic for a period. But that's a powerful thing about sort of growing a base from home. Most artists do that, like some notoriety, where it's like, yeah, these people really take you as one of their own, so they're going to be mad and be like, yes, you know, Two Broke Twimbos is the best podcast in the world, and they're from Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? They take it personally.
No, not really, but I know what you mean.
You can only hope and dream, but one day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you see, this lack of confidence will take you far. Bravado. You need that bravado, man.
You hear that? Two Broke Twimbos is the best podcast from Zimbabwe about two guys who don't have any money.
Possibly.
What up?
Maybe. Could be.
Oh, man.
I'm sure. So, yeah. You spoke about the bass. So, was that part of the decision for you moving back home?
No, actually, I stayed there still. And this is, you see, it's easier to talk about this in retrospective because that's now I realize what was happening. But not to say I wasn't realizing. But when you're caught in the thing and things are moving, you don't necessarily have a good reflection of what's going on as I do now. You know, because, like I said, I was supposed to just go there, go to school, and dip home. But now I took on a different path, and then I was figuring it out. Wasn't working anymore, so you have to figure out immigration stuff out. Became a full-time musician. Other opportunities came. I started playing in other different states, you know, Chicago, this and the third. And then
the money was coming in.
I mean, barely to make a living, you know what I mean? But one thing that's crazy though, because one thing I've not been able to do in Africa that I could do there, and if I could do it in Africa now with the stature I have, it would be a killing. Look, man, those days, you go do a show, even if it's 250 people, you have amazing merch, and they buy freaking merch at every show, and there could be a good range of selling from 50 CDs to even if it's, and it adds up if you're doing shows. And I'm thinking about like, yo, and I had a variety of merch. Guy, I had coasters. My merch included coasters.
You're just getting more and more thug life as we speak, bro.
Super thug
M.anifest
life.
coasters.
M.anifest coasters. I mean, the initial idea with the coasters was I think I sent it to I made it to send it to my mom and other people when I would go back. Just, you know, kind of vanity thing. Yeah, they should put out the coaster and think of me when they drink. But then it was like people liked it. They liked the idea. They hadn't, you know, I actually haven't seen any rapper with coasters in Africa. Hey guys, don't steal my idea.
Well, anywhere, to be
M.anifest
honest.
coasters. Yeah. So yeah, merch was a big thing then. So yeah, you weren't making money sort of in terms of the fee, and a lot of times too, you know, you had to do your own things. Like your thing with the promoter is based on the door. It wasn't like how it is now, which is if you're trying to get me out, you have to pony up, you know, write the check. But then it was like, okay, we're gonna do splits, this and the third. And so it was a hassle, but it teaches you a lot about the basics of it. So I have an appreciation if a promoter is, for instance, I have an appreciation of what he might be trying to do to get break even. You know?
All right. So, what then influenced the decision to come back home?
Life, I think, as life kept evolving, it's definitely the professional aspect, but life kept evolving. You know, I had a child. Definitely didn't want to raise a child in America. See what's going on in M.anifest. Yeah, see what's going on in America. America is not. It's an interesting place. I love America, but I love how the wealth of sort of family you have here in terms of growing up. You know, sort of. So life was happening. Yeah, definitely. Career-wise too, but it just didn't make sense. Everything pointed to coming back home. I was going to grow more musically, which I have. I was going to become more myself, which I have. I was Yeah, I mean, I was just going to leave any of those worries behind, and any of the successes as well, and just begin anew with all that I'd learned, And I'd also started making inroads into Europe, so America stopped mattering. So it was like, okay, I'm in Ghana, to just go to France, London. Why am I still in America?
Yeah.
So.
Right. Speaking of Europe, how did you link up with Damon Albarn?
Through working with a UK producer called Richie Pitch and doing a song called Black Star. A wicked video, by the way. You should check it out. It's a 2D animated video. It looks like the old Atari games.
All right.
Wicked. It's like one of the wildest videos I've been a part of. But yeah, through that, and then Africa Express, and then the rest, as they say, is history. I think it was in 2010.
That's the same one with Erykah Badu and...
Yeah, well, through that is how then the next year I ended up doing all that work with
right. Yeah, and I saw recently on your European tour, you linked up with him, and you guys basically did that in South America as well.
Oh man, that was an amazing tour, man. Last year was crazy. I mean, just going country after country, going to Belgium, going to Serbia, going to France, playing Barcelona, playing in... Hey guy, it was like you wake up, you don't know what day of the week it is, but it's going to be an amazing night. South America was dope. It was my first time in South America. Chile was dope.
Them Latina.
I did not make any babies there.
So you think? Manifest. I'm gonna lead a hombre for you.
Charlie, the tribe. I have to restrict the tribe. These gene pools.
Yeah, so dude, if you need an assistant, I'm currently unemployed, and I'm willing to offer my services.
They would have to have, a bit more bravado, than I've seen here,
Yeah, I'm the best PA you'll ever have, son. Okay? You need me to iron your shirt, I will iron it so good. So yeah, when you go outside of Africa or Europe, South America, what type of audience is coming to your shows? Do they know your music? Are they just interested in the sound?
Well, I mean, I've been fortunate because when you are able to enter certain spaces like I do, sort of in a sense of highly recommended or by affiliation, there's an almost immediate thing to say, okay, he's playing with Damon, so
he's been co-signed.
Yeah, so it's kind of an advantage, clearly. But also, you're playing festivals and other places where it's about the quality of performance and the music. People are not coming there because they love that song and they want to hear it. Yes, they are in a certain extent, but you can play these markets because sometimes they also want to hear new things. You know what I mean? And then also you get in my situation where in the middle of Damon's set, he brings me out to play the biggest gorilla song ever, Clint Eastwood. It's like, can you go wrong after that? I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just a very different structure, and being able to play those places at that level clearly is an advantage to how people regard you and their openness to your music. So it's like, yeah, it's not like I was playing in some hole in the wall clubs, so they'll be like, and then the people coming in some of these hole in the wall clubs, they're aspiring rappers anyway. So they are standing there marking like, this guy who's
I'm better than him.
Yeah, you see, that's why I left America, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, what you're describing basically means you need to have your live performances on point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you just kind of... Okay, I'll tell you what. In Zim, there's a lot of artists that are dope, and people hear them on radio and they hear their stuff like, this dude is dope. And then he comes to do a live show, and it's pretty much, he just plays the backtrack and he raps over it and runs around on stage and gets off. And that's it, you know what I mean? And I always think, I wish you had just taken this opportunity to probably give a huge, you know what I mean? Like this is me, and I'm not just playing a CD and singing over it or whatever. If you're not gonna do a band, do a DJ, whatever it is, just do something that's huge. You know what I mean? Or are you a backtrack guy? You got a band though.
Yeah, I do have a band. I like how you asked it. Are you a backtrack guy?
Basically, what I'm asking is, what's the strategy for the?
No. I mean, look. You see, the
the
problem you're identifying is because a lot of people don't go through a long route. you see what we've been talking about since 2007 for me.
Yeah.
It's a long route, and I learned to fail early, and but at the same time, I was also in a mix in an environment that did not allow that. Like, you aren't going to go to an indie rap show and be putting on a backdrop without a DJ and everything and then they would like you because they don't know your music. They don't care, I mean, thug life, but still, so yes, I learned that quickly, and then also getting more exposure, going to festivals, etc., and seeing these amazing shows. If you've seen an amazing show, the next day, are you going to be able to do that same thing that you did? Because you know the difference, the echelons to this thing, and so for me, that's one thing. So I have an empathy for people who haven't. If you haven't seen a lot in that regard, but you guys have HIFA, so I'm sure people see a lot of dope shows, right?
Yeah.
So, but then also to realize the value of that versus the backtrack, it's sort of like if I come in with my band, etc., and fully I'm able to play from people who know me to people who don't know me and they enjoy it, I mean, it raises the value of what I do. So also because I love music, I think that's the primary reason. I love music and I want it to sound amazing. I love art. I'm not doing this for a paycheck.
Sure.
So speaking of which, I've got a show I want you to do next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a lot of recognition and stuff.
Exposure.
Yeah. I'll give you a platform.
I mean, no, I do because I love it. And I'm also not competing with the locals, and not in my country, not on my continent. We're competing, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, with the whole world. You know what I mean? I'm not going to see a Kanye performance somewhere and be like, oh, that's Kanye, blah, blah. No, I would probably sit there myself and be like, nah, I'll beat that. That's how I feel. I think we're playing in that field. Whether you want it or not, with little resources or whatever, you're playing in that field. Creativity knows no bounds. And yes, when somebody has more resources, he can one-up you very easily. But yeah, there's stuff I can do that I think other people can't fathom. And that's what we're trying to do. So for me, it's about that. The love fest, also realizing being exposed, and also, realizing that there's value to this. If you're trying to, performance is a huge part of our salary. And if you are trying to enjoy a good salary, you have to be a good performer. Because we don't sell music. It doesn't happen, man. I mean, who's selling music? Rihanna, Lady Gaga.
You probably get a check from iTunes, though.
But that is to pay for the cost of making music now for us is way high.
Yeah.
So when I say we don't make money, I mean, you're now making back what you deserve, because I told you guys the other day, I've shot 6 videos in 12 months. I've put out 5 of them. Mm-hmm. If I just calculate that, it's terrifying. Sort of the combined cost of that. So if I'm getting things from iTunes, and then I have to pay producers who do the tracks, and then it has to be mixed and mastered, and then maybe some PR market.
Yeah, and you got to put some aside as a donation to Two Broke Twimbos. It adds up, you know what I mean?
Is that called payola?
No. We prefer the term marketing support
back
fund.
scratching.
Okay, back scratching.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, mutual back scratching. Anyway, no. I guess money is always a big thing for artists, but
yeah. It shouldn't be, but it is, and it's the truth. But everybody should want to get to the point where money stops being a big thing, as in you can actually take a step back from money, because you're not dealing on a level in which every penny is kind of making you go haywire, you know, or that you are even close to that. You should just be checking the quarterly, bank balance. I'm saying
there's a couple of more zeros. Nice.
Exactly, because it's not about the money, but it is. Nobody's doing this for anybody who's a rapper out here in Africa and wants to make. If you want to rap because you want to make a lot of money, then you make poor decisions in life.
Very poor.
Because why wouldn't you go and become a bank, go into finance, go into private equity, etc.? Because that is a surer path. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If you cannot possibly think this is the path of least resistance to making a lot of money.
True. Or be a politician.
Or start a church.
Oh yeah. Charlie, in Africa, the way we like our Jesus.
You know what I'd like to hear?
Tell me.
Just like some of the collaborations that you've done, and like especially the major ones.
Yeah. I think since I came home, I think people know the collab I have with Double HPG guys. People like that. People like
that was a hit. That was massive, man. That was
people
massive.
like the joint with Proverb. That was also kind of lyrically wondrous.
Yeah,
Proverb's manifest.
I like the lyrics, but the name.
I mean, it's cringe, eh? It's like sometimes low hanging fruits, man.
It's like, guys,
not every day.
you're more imaginative than this.
I mean, it just came from a line in it. You know, the first time when I said, this is what happens when Proverbs manifest. That's it. I was telling low hanging fruit. Sometimes it's not that complicated, and it's difficult for us because we're always trying to be like so clever and witty. And sometimes, Charlie, Phil, come on, man, it's there. The mango is here, and you want me to reach for the what?
No,
Okay.
but I love the video. The way you guys shot that video was dope.
Yeah,
was
shout
a
out
good
to
concept.
Garth and Joby and Makari and everybody who worked on that.
Yeah. Any music you put out recently that you're planning on putting out? And
Well, I just put out a video for a single I released not so long called Forget Them. We shot the video in Cape Town. So that one is getting nice traction. I think we'll do. I think from the emails, I think it's been playlisted. So soon you see it on all those channels that you see the videos. But I've been working on a new album, Mike, sort of. And it's exciting. And actually, at HIFA is the first time, I think I told you, that I'm going to play one of the songs from it. I don't know if it's going to be the first single, but I'll just say the title of the album. I've been holding on to it for so long. I think it's the first time I'll be saying it. Crazy.
all right, dope.
Let's see. Let me stretch. No, the album is going to be called Nowhere Cool.
Nowhere Cool.
Two Broke Twimbos exclusive.
Yeah,
So
Nowhere
we
Cool.
We got the album name. We're gonna try steal some songs off his laptop.
Yeah,
Load those bad boys.
but it's exciting. I mean, I've reached a point in my musical career where I've found amazing collaborators sort of on the music side who I can do anything that I want to do. I can say, yo, can we do this snap, and turn it to, and we can make it happen in an amazing way. When I started, I was, just getting beats and writing to beats. Now I have ideas and we turn it into music. And it's an amazing place to be in. So I'm excited for people and myself to release this new stuff because, I mean, if anybody's followed me, I'm not afraid of evolution. And right now where I am is very exciting. It's daring. It's experimental, but still, I guess, commercial or for the masses. I'm not doing it for two people.
For the artsy farty.
No. We don't want to be three broke. We leave it at two. We want to keep the two there and the one. Yeah.
So I think just to give you some advice so that you can be successful in your... No, I'm kidding. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate it.
I mean, I got the advice. Get a studio and you can work wonders. You can make anybody believe you're somebody.
That's the dream, man.
Fake it till you make it.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Entrapment.
You got it. That's it.
Entrapment.
Listen, okay. This is
No, I'll put in the next song. It's a bar.
double entendres that you're trying to throw at us here. We need rap genius up in here. Anyway,
Go. The kids be going ham on my lyrics and Rap Genius, man. Check it out.
Yeah, it's got quite a lot of annotations. Because, like, Shoka Devin, I love that jam so much. I was like, I need to figure out what Obraf was saying. And there were like 20 citations. And dudes were arguing within the citations. No, he means this.
What's happened to your voice, Phil?
Okay, let me explain. What happened is my political opponents have done their best to slander, silence me at this crucial time in my life. So I've been attacked with a flu, which is plaguing my throat in a bad way. So I apologize for that. But I shall be back soon.
All right. Yo, We out as per usual. This is going to be available on video. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can check it out on YouTube as well. We're on SoundCloud. We're on
Stitcher, TuneIn, any RSS feeder. Did I say Stitcher already?
Yes, Facebook, Twitter, as per
SoundCloud.
usual, everywhere, anywhere you can find Two Broke Twimbos.
Basically, it's impossible not to find us these days. It really is. You've got to be making an effort not to find us.
And I know y'all are trying hard not to find us, but we're there, so you'll find us. We'll catch you guys on the rebound. Shout out to M.anifest. Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
man.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it, man.
Shout out to Ghana. And yeah, we out.